When a man is looking for a wife, he also must choose wisely because he's choosing the mother of his children. So he should choose wisely. So I tell the brothers all the time, marry an intelligent woman, because if you marry an intelligent woman, you have intelligent children, because the mother is the first teacher. And so while you out earning, who's at home teaching little junior how to walk, how to say his ABCs, how to count? It's the mother. So if you choose wisely and plant your seed not only in fertile soil, but plant your seed in soil that is free of weeds,
You better say that.
free of rocks,
You better say
free
that.
of sand and hard earth. You want to plant your seed in fertile, nice soil so that she can yield good and good children that will be raised for you. You got to choose wisely. Now, there was somebody wise once said, "Never trust a big butt and a smile."
That was a wise
if
statement.
if your mindset is on that level, you're not choosing wisely, and you're gonna marry somebody, and you're gonna be in hell.
We're trying to make relationships better. We're trying to make men better. Today, my guest is. Actually, I've been knowing this brother for a while, man. Um, Bilal Mukhlis. Welcome to the show, man.
Oh, thank you, Nasheed. It's a pleasure to be here, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate.
Got the mint going up in here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is really, really good.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
I,
brother.
I try to accommodate. You know what I mean? I try to
really
accommodate.
appreciate it. I really appreciate
You know
it.
what I mean?
Yes.
Bilal Mukhlis, thank you for coming to the show, man. So the basis of my whole channel or my whole mission is to make men better,
Right.
right? To make men better, not only in relationships, but just make them a better person. You know what I mean? Just try to make them a better person, uh, understanding life better. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of us, coming from where I come from, and I know they didn't have those men in their lives to mentor them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes didn't have those men to mentor. So I want to kind of like get in that place with that, right? So you were a counselor, correct?
Right.
A marriage counselor.
Right.
You spoke to couples, and there was different issues that they had, right?
Right. It's true.
I want to get into that. So won't you tell me about what you did first?
Well, I have to say, first and foremost, I myself have been married for almost 30 years now.
Whoa.
Almost 30 years.
Okay.
And people would just come to me and ask me for marital advice.
Okay.
They would just do that.
Okay.
So I wasn't classically trained as a marital counselor,
Okay.
but I just fell into
The position.
the position.
Yeah.
And so people would just call upon me and ask me, various questions, and then that morphed into me going to people's homes and sitting with couples. And to be honest with you, it still is beneficial for me, because when you're able to step back and see other people's issues, it helps you focus on yourself as well. And so
Yourself in your marriage?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, because it's one thing to sit there and talk to a couple about their issues, and naturally you're gonna reflect on your own issues. So to me, it's a teaching moment, not only for the people that trust me, but for myself as well.
Cool. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. 30 years first, let me say, congratulations. Congratulations,
It's been
man.
a long road, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm
Yeah, I
thankful.
mean,
Thankful.
especially when she's found a rider. That's why
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
a rider.
Rada, exactly,
She's a rider.
because she was 19 and I was 20, and now I'm knocking on 50's door right now.
Lord,
So
beautiful.
that just lets you know how
You
long we've
almost
been
half a
together.
hundred.
Almost, yeah. I'm thankful. It hasn't been easy being married to me, so I'm thankful.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what's up.
thankful.
That's what. Hey, man, that's really what I want to get into. What are some of the complaints that women had about men? Like some real points that you can bring out that women had about men.
Well, to be honest with you, one of the main things that the women complain about is honestly their husbands not willing to sit down and talk from the very beginning.
Mm. What you mean? Just like having a heart to heart?
A heart to heart discussion, yeah. Because I have counseled couples who weren't married. They were engaged, and they was looking for some premarital counseling, so I did that as well. So the women are willing to talk, but the men not so much. And what I'm finding is when the men in general, when they do want to talk, the marriage has entered what I call condition red. It's on the verge of divorce. It's on the verge of divorce. That's usually when I find the men will say, "Hey, man, we need to talk. Bilal, come over and see us." It's on that critical stage. It's like when the women want to talk, it hasn't reached critical stage yet, but it's going down a certain path. And I find from my personal experience, when the men feel actually do want to talk, meaning they reach out to me, it's at critical mass at that point.
I'm still tripping on women. I mean, I get it. They complain about it, but
Hmm.
that's a real issue. Dudes don't want to talk, and when I say talk, because we know men talk, we know that we can talk.
Right.
But what they don't want to be vulnerable in the relationship and talk about their
No,
feelings
they
or
no, they just don't want people knowing their personal business.
wait, their wife.
No, they for example, a sister would contact me and say, "Brother Bilal, we're having some issues. This was going on, this was going on," and then I'll say, "Okay, have the brother talk to me, call me, let's have an appointment." Just to get the brother to that stage, in many cases, is difficult.
I get that. I understand that.
That's what I'm saying. At that
Oh,
is
okay,
to
okay.
that initial stage is difficult.
Oh no! I get that. Yeah, I get that. I
But
don't need another dude coming into my relationship trying to help fix
there,
it.
there you go.
Yeah, nah,
There you
I'm
go.
good. I ain't trying to get what. Why he got to talk to me? I mean, I
Exactly.
understand that point. I thought you were
Exactly.
saying that the men don't talk in the relationship.
No, no. I mean, they are talking in a relationship, but they don't feel, and many times, comfortable, like you said, with an outsider,
Yeah.
another man,
Mm-hmm.
coming into their, assessing their particular relationship.
Gotcha.
So that, unfortunately, that is difficult. But like I said, when the men reach out to me, a lot of times it's reached critical mass at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So what are some of the points that the complaints when it gets to that point? What were the complaints of the women? I mean, for the men about the women.
Um, it varies. A lot of times, it's it could be, it just varies. So many different things. They complain about the sister or the woman not being available enough sexually. They
Mm-hmm.
complain about that.
Okay.
I mean, that's just an example.
Yeah, I get it.
Or they'll complain about her being too bossy, you
Mm-hmm.
know, too
Okay.
bossy.
I get that.
Um, um, honestly, I haven't dealt with a lot of situations where the men complain about financial issues. I know when it comes to finances, if it's not handled properly in any relationship, any marriage, it can cause a lot of problems.
That's word. That's word.
But I don't get a lot of that from the men per se.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of it has to do with the way she deals with him. Maybe she may be a little bossy, maybe a little too mouthy, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
or she's not available sexually enough for him,
For him.
or he wants to, get remarried, and from an Islamic perspective, with him having more than one spouse, that could be a big problem as well. So, it all depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends. Yeah, all depends. various things. But I guess if I had to put it on some common denominators when it comes to the men over the years, I guess it's probably the way she deals with him individually. Like I said, maybe she doesn't talk as much. Maybe she's too, like you said, too bossy or something like that. And they're trying to find a way of how to deal with that. Absolutely.
But like you said, it's on the verge of being over. So
I give you an example. I had a brother call me one day and he called me out the blue and he said, you know, brother Bilal, I need you to come over to the house. So I went there, and when I got there, it was clear that the situation had reached critical mass. I mean, there was profanity used, yelling back and forth, and I was like, whoa, 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 what's going on? And come to find out that the situation, their marriage had been, you know, simmering for a number of years and it just finally reached that critical stage. And I guess when a brother reached out to me, that was his way of, you know, a last ditch effort to try to save the marriage. But by that time,
it was gone.
it was pretty much already done. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That's unfortunate.
yeah.
But it happens though.
It does.
It happens.
It does. Yeah.
So is divorce healthy in some cases?
Yes, divorce can be healthy and necessary in some cases, especially if it's toxic, if it's mean spirited, if there's abuse involved, whether it be physical, verbal, mental, even spiritual or economic abuse. It can be helpful in some cases, yes, to leave that toxic relationship to start anew. Yes, definitely, definitely, absolutely. I mean, no one should stay in a situation where they feel unloved or unwarranted, you know, uncared for. No one needs to be in a situation like that. This life is too short.
Man or
This
woman.
world is man or woman. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Male or female. It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Absolutely.
Right.
Life is too short.
Life is too short.
But at the same time, we have to get it. We have to find a balance because marriage is something very serious, and we should fight for our marriages. If you care for someone, you love them, you have time vested, especially if there's children involved, and things like that. You want to fight for your marriage. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to give up and just throw in a towel at the drop of a hat. You want to fight for the marriage, especially if you really love and care for that person. You're just going through a rough patch. Because if I told you after been married now almost 30 years, you know, in a few months, if I told you it's been peaches and cream the whole time, I would be lying to you. It's been rough sometimes. Yeah, it's been rough. And anybody who told you, anybody who tells you, oh, I've been married for 40 years and, you know, oh, she's my heart. I mean, don't get me wrong.
They still in the honeymoon stage. You say 4 years?
40 years.
Oh, 40.
40
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
40 years.
Yeah. Because I think 4 years you can still be in love.
Absolutely.
You can still be in love.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that, you know?
But when you've been married for a long time yourself, and
This year I've been knowing her for 30 years this year.
they're okay, 30 years.
We got 28 in there.
See, when it gets to that level, the love is on a different level at that point. It's deeper. It's deeper. You know, it's like you guys, the love that you guys have now is like on a whole different level. It's past the infatuation stage. It's past the honeymoon stage. This is life partner stage. This is a stage where if somebody was bedridden or whatever, you will feed that person. You whip that person. A life altering disease comes and like, you know, I'm with you. I mean, it's like, you know, I tell people all the time, if you can't see that person that you want to marry, if you can't see yourself growing old with them, if you can't see yourself having to bathe that person when they can't bathe themselves, if you can't see yourself being in a situation where your spouse has been diagnosed with a critical ailment where it's life threatening, and you like, you know what, I'm with you. I mean, we together. I'm with you. That's real love at that point. If you can't see yourself growing old or going through that, don't waste your time.
Right.
And that type of love comes with time. You won't get that the first 3 or 4 years.
Right.
It's
Right.
not like
But
that.
but at the same time, I think you're building the house
Oh, absolutely.
in the first 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
You know what I
absolutely,
mean?
absolutely, absolutely,
And I think
absolutely,
that's important in the beginning. So
absolutely.
what would be some advice to those people who just starting out? Oh no, okay, let's start. Let's do this. What's some advice to a man that you would give who's looking, who's not married, but who's looking to get married? What is his preparation like? What is his preparation to find a wife to go with him for 30 years? What is the preparation that he needs to be doing?
The first thing I will tell him is prepare within himself, first and foremost. He has to prepare with himself. He has to prepare spiritually, get right with the Most High, have a connection with the Most High. He has to prepare himself mentally, prepare himself psychologically, because when you take a woman to be your wife, this is a huge responsibility.
Word.
It's nothing to play with.
Uh-oh. Word.
It's nothing to play with. So you want to prepare yourself spiritually, psychologically, mentally, economically. Prepare yourself
Oh.
because it's a huge responsibility. I grew up in a household where I didn't see what they call this 50-50 thing. I didn't grow up like that. My mother is what you call a kept woman. My father did everything. So I remember when my father died in 2000, my mother did not know how to pump gas because my father would not allow my mother to go to the gas station. He said it's too dangerous. I'll put gas in it for you and bring the car home. She never knew how to pump her own gas. Real talk. And matter of fact, when I was growing up, I saw my father cook and clean once my whole life. Now that doesn't mean that men should not cook and clean. There's nothing wrong with that.
He did one time, so
Once,
he did
right?
it. He did it.
But the type of relationship my mother and father had was my mother had rings. She had fur coats. My father hired people to clean the house for her, and she would cook and she would serve him. That was kind of relationship my mother and father had. I grew up seeing that. So when I got married, I expected the same thing. I go out and work. My wife served me when I get home. I take care of the bills, what have you, and it works out. That's the kind of relationship I have in my family. So everybody is different. So when you take a woman to be your happily lawful wedded wife, so to speak, you want to make sure that you're prepared to receive her because she is trusting you to be the leader, the caretaker inside that home. It's like there's a when a female eagle wants to, when she's ready to mate and she's ready to find a suitor to have little eaglets, she will put potential suitors to a test. So what she would do, she will fly down and pick up a stick, and then she'll fly up into the air, and then she'll drop the stick. If the male eagle is quick enough to fly down and pick up that stick before it hits the ground, he's passed the first test. Then she'll swoop down and pick up a bigger stick and fly even higher. And then she'll drop the stick. If he can swoop down and catch a stick with his claws before it hits the ground, he's passed the second test. And then she'll do it again and again and again until she goes down and swoops down and picks up the biggest, heaviest stick she can find. And she'll go as high as she can and drop it. And if he can swoop down and catch it before it lands and breaks on the ground, then he succeeded. Then she will mate with him, and then they will have little eaglets, little baby eagles. And then eventually there comes a time when they have to learn how to fly. So she'll put the little baby eagles on her back and she'll fly up in the air. She's getting them used to the air and swooping down and everything. They're riding on her back. And then one day she'll take them up in the air and then she'll tip her wings. And the eaglets, you know, trying to, the male eagles got to come and be ready to catch them before they hit the ground. That was the test.
That was the test.
She had to make sure
the baby was going
that
to say
she could trust him with her babies. So she chose wisely, because no woman wants to be with a weak man. Weak mentally, spiritually, physically, economically. She's looking out for her babies. And so she put potential suitors to her test. So when a man is looking for a wife, he also must choose wisely, because he's choosing the mother of his children. So he should choose wisely. So I tell the brothers all the time, marry an intelligent woman, because if you marry an intelligent woman, you have intelligent children, because the mother is the first teacher. And so while you out earning, who's at home teaching little Junior how to walk, how to say his ABCs, how to count? It's the mother. So if you choose wisely and plant your seed not only in fertile soil, but plant your seed in soil that is free of weeds.
You better say that.
Free of rocks.
You better say
free
that.
Of sand and hard earth. You want to plant your seed in fertile, nice soil, so that she can yield good children that will be raised for you. You got to choose wisely. Now, there was somebody wise once said, "Never trust a big butt and a smile."
That was a wise statement.
If your mindset is on that level, you're not choosing wisely, and you're going to marry somebody and you're going to be in hell.
Hold on, man. But sometimes I just like the big butt and the smile, man.
There's nothing wrong with that, bro. We're men, but you got to choose wisely. Don't get tricked.
Hey, man. That was nice.
Don't get tricked.
You're right. Absolutely correct. Don't be fooled by the big butt and the smile.
Don't get tricked.
But if she intelligent, that's cool though.
Oh,
if she got a big butt, smile, and she intelligent,
dude, let me tell you,
I'm winning, dog.
When I was growing up, I kid you not. When I was growing up, you know who I had a big crush on? Miss Huxtable. Dude,
Miss Huxtable, man?
Miss Huxtable, dude. Because for me, I am attracted to intelligence. To intellect. So for me, Miss Huxtable and her daughter Denise was no, not Denise, but Sandra. Denise was my brother's. That's what he had a crush on. But I had a thing for Miss Huxtable. She was smart. She was intelligent.
You're right.
She was a lady.
She was always lady.
She knew how to read you, but she was classy.
Yeah.
And she was beautiful. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. You can catch my attention with body, but you can't hold me with that.
It's the intelligence.
No, look, we live here in Atlanta, and I'm out moving and doing business, and I come across women all the time. Very attractive women. But when you listen to that conversation, when you listen to things that are being said, it's a complete turnoff. Real talk. Now, that's just me. Every other man is different.
Right.
So if a man is planning to get married, choose wisely. You're choosing the mother for your children. You want to make sure you look at her background, her family, meet her parents, meet her, find out about her upbringing, and really get to know her parents, because that's going to give you a good indication of how she's going to be in a marital situation. Not all the times, but it's going to give an indication. Yeah, because when people grow up in a 2-parent household, that doesn't automatically mean that they're going to be faithful in a marriage, but it will tell you that she grew up seeing things. And it's a good chance that she wants to repeat that, because in most cases, people want to be like their parents in most cases. So that's what I would tell brothers: choose
Choose
wisely,
wisely.
plan properly. This is going to be the mother of your children. Don't be deceived. Do your homework. Uh, Trust in the Most High. Ask for guidance to see if this is the one for you, and just be careful.
All right, so he does that.
Hmm.
Now they're in the marriage. Now they're in the marriage. Let's say that first 4 years where it's
Okay.
like, I'm so in love.
Bliss,
It's like,
bliss.
it's like,
His and her towels, and
right, all of that.
I'm
Yeah.
with him and she's with me.
Right. All of that.
Right, right.
Get past that fifth year, and you hit that little hickey in the road. You hit that little hickey where you stop. You don't want to go home, because you don't want to see her. Like you don't like being around her no more. You know what I'm saying? Like that love or that really attraction has like kind of worn off. You know what I'm saying? How do you get that back? Like I want to. I love her. I do love her, but I just don't see her like I used to. Is there a way for me? Is there a way for that guy to get that back? To start looking at his wife through those honeymoon eyes again?
A couple things. One, I would encourage, and before I say this, I speak to myself first and foremost before I say to anybody else. Make it a habit to do what is called an emotional check-in from time to time. You know, talk to your wife or your husband and say, "Hey, how are you in this relationship? How you feeling? What's going on? What can we do to fix it? What can we do to make it better?" Have an emotional or what I call a marital check in from time to time, a few times out of a year. Just say what's going on. Are you
Even
all
if there's
right?
no issues,
Even if there's no, it's just check in.
just check in.
Just check in because a lot of times, to be honest with you, when women are in bad marriages, they will check out. When I mean check out, they'll stop talking. You look around and they're not cleaning as much. They're not cooking as much. They emotionally they check out. When it gets to that stage, it's bad. And when it gets to that stage, women start to plan their exit. When women check out, I mean, she try to talk to you, she try to get people to talk to you and everything. A woman would try because she's looking at women in general want to be in stable situations because she's not only thinking about herself but she's thinking about her babies.
Yeah, yeah.
So women
Yeah,
will
and then
women
at the
will
same
fight.
time, it's dangerous out there. Like I think a lot of them don't want to start over again.
Oh my God.
I know you. I'm safe with you. I'm trying to fix this, so I ain't gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because what was the old saying? It's better to stay with a devil that you know than some. I forgot what it was saying, but anyway, women.
Why you got? I gotta be a devil.
I
you
mean,
know?
but I'm just saying that I mean that may be a little extreme, but I'm just saying in general, women women will try their best to fight because they think of not only themselves but their babies, and no woman wants to be going in and out relationships.
Word.
And when that happens, there's something deeper there that needs to be addressed.
So that's why you check in.
Yeah, that's where you need to check in with her, see what's going on. But what I'm saying, when you see a woman going from this relationship
Oh.
here, there's something deeper going on.
Mm.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's in your marriage, but it's something deeper on a base level that you need to address. And that could be something her upbringing, something her family. There could be some abuse in her past. There could be some emotional letdown in her past that's affecting how she's reacting in this relationship now. So that's why it's important to do a check in, and also it's important that you talk to the person prior to the marriage and find out as much as you can so you can make an intelligent decision.